Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams and we're back once again with one of our 24/7 news reports. We start this news report with our headline news, and it is some decent transfer rumours. Everton are interested in Bayer Leverkusen's Patrick Schick. The forward is, the Blues are said to have excellent references on the forward, and 40 million could be enough to make Bayer Leverkusen sell him. This has come from Gazette dello Sporto via Sport Witness. He's a really good player. He's having a great Euros. He scored that worldie of a lob against Scotland that just left David Marshall completely in the net, absolutely wrapped up. It was a great finish, and he's had a really good Euros. Performing in quite a tough team to perform in. They're not exactly the most creative. If you've watched the Czechs this summer, they're quite industrial. So it's sort of like scrappy. I think it's the best way to describe it. So you'd hope with a bit of quality, maybe a James behind him or a Sigurdsson maybe, depending on who we keep and who we sell. You'd expect a little bit more from him, but looks a good player. I think 40 million euros is a bit expensive though. I think that he's had a good tournament tax, which you get with every player who's had a good tournament. I'm sure Dumfries will be hit with the same thing if we get him. Every player who has a good tournament, you can add a bit more on because they've been in the shop window on the global stage. We also have some news from Fabrizio Romano on Twitch via, about Denzel Dumfries. He said, quiet at the moment on the Everton talks. Inter are going for something different due to a high fee and financial situation. This one shocks me because obviously they've sold Hakimi, it looks like, for 75 million euros to PSG. The same PSG who want a Moise Kean on loan for another season. Go figure. I think they're stitching us up well and truly. But yeah. Hopefully this is just, the calm before the storm. Marcel Brands was in the Netherlands when Rafa was announced, hence why he wasn't at Finch Farm. I can't imagine what else he was doing in Holland other than trying to get this done. From PSV as well as former clubs, there's a lot of good relationship there. You would hope, I've got much faith in Brands to get this done. You'd hope if he was managing to do any transfer this summer, this would be ideal. Knows the club, knows Dumfries. They're obviously going to sell him. Inter are cooling. I don't know what their financial situation is. I know they had to raise 80 million euros. They've done 75 of it. Maybe, they need to sell a couple more players before they can buy. Who knows? I'm just speculating there. We have got some more transfer news though, and it comes via Talk Sport. And it's that Everton and Arsenal are said to be pushing for a move for Brighton defender Ben White. The English centre-back would cost 50 million, and Manchester City are also following the situation. He's a very good player. I've said this in the numerous videos. He's very good. He's a very good ball playing defender. He's a bit of pace. He's very good in a back 5-3 if we were going to work that. But I don't think we will. Rafa likes a 4-2-3-1, which when flat is a 4-5-1. So I can't see him, going for the 5 back that Carlo Ancelotti used. It maybe if Ancelotti was still at the club and was still doing that system, I'd be more keen on this. 50 million again. A lot of money. English tax, I think, is a little bit in play there. But he's a very good player. He's not the player I think we need or the player I would go for from Brighton. I'd go for a Bissouma or a Lamptey because we really do need a right back. But we'll have to wait and see. I think he would suit Arsenal quite well, and he'd certainly suit City. He's very much a Guardiola type of player. I think he sort of resembles a younger John Stones with how comfortable he is with the ball at his feet and bringing it out. So I can see why Guardiola is interested. We also have some news from Record saying that Everton still remain in negotiations with Sporting for midfielder Matheus Nunes, despite their taking their foot off the gas as it's understood Rafa Benitez has other plans in place. Obviously that comes from via Record. This doesn't shock me, For me, doesn't shock me. We were always going to see what Rafa wanted, and doing business while Rafa Benitez wasn't appointed, or any manager, was always going to be a bit of a risk, and I think Everton were holding out on the green light for a while just to see who they were going to get. I don't know much about him, so I can't say if we don't get him it'll be, the worst opportunity in the world, but I also can't say, let's absolutely put all our money in him, because I honestly couldn't tell you. He does seem... I have said in previous videos, I looked at him on Who Scored, and he is very much a ball bringing out midfielder. Drake likes to get the ball, push it forward, passes it to maybe a James, who finds the pass to one of our forwards. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. I don't know if we will get Matheus Nunes. There has been some news from the Liverpool Echo via Sport Witness on Isco, saying Benitez wants Isco after the Coutinho snub. So Everton have been snubbed by another old Liverpool boy, Philip Coutinho. Sport Witness cites Fajahes, claiming that the Blues are targeting the 29-year-old Real Madrid player. The article states Isco, for his part, doesn't want to continue with Los Blancos, and Carlo Ancelotti isn't considering the former Malaga star in his plans at the Bernabeu next season. Considering these factors, Isco changing clubs this summer seems to be the best option for him, both him and Real Madrid. Switch to England will help the 29-year-old more if he decides to join a club like Seville, who also have interest. So obviously there's some competition there to keep him in Spain. I don't know if he'll keep in Spain or if he will make that jump to the English Premier League. I'm sure we were linked with him earlier on this year, maybe it was last season. We have been linked with Isco before. On his day, when he played for Real Madrid, was a very good player. I would say he's more of your luxury player, a bit like a James Rodriguez, a bit like a Philip Coutinho. I'd say he probably is more, your Philip Coutinho model, similar. Can hit a ball from outside the box, very good at passing, but also very good at close dribbling, likes to keep the ball at his feet, do a 1-2, nice little tricks. I mean, if you told me this 5 years ago, I'd be biting your hand off. I mean, I'm not against it now. If he's still some of the player he was, fantastic. But he is very much, he will probably play that number 10 role that Rafa Benitez likes to play in his 4-2-3-1 that would convert to a 5. But it's predominantly the number 10 role. And he'd play really well in that number 10 role. He could find a bit of space, unlock a pass. And it's quite exciting. It's exciting. He's an exciting link. Obviously, another Spanish giant former player would join us then, following, Luca Dean, Andre Gomez. So we'll have to wait and see. We also have the news that Everton confirm Olympic decision for Richarlison. Again, this has come via Phil Kirkbride from the Liverpool Echo. He said that Richarlison had run the risk of missing his opening game. It does run the risk of missing his opening games for Everton due to the time that the Olympics start. He wrote, Rafa Benitez is braced to begin his Goodison reign without one of Everton's most important players. They granted a 24-year-old forward his wish to compete in Japan. Everton begin the season at home, Southampton on August the 14th, before trips to Leeds United and Brighton at the end of the month. Richarlison, who is currently representing Brazil in the Copa America, will now extend his season to at least the end of the month without having any considerable rest. I feel like this was a tough one. I don't think we could have stood in his way. It was his last chance, they reckon, and he loves Brazil. I think he loves Everton. He loves playing for us, despite these rumours going around that he wants to move. I think he does love playing for Everton, especially in front of a crowd, but he does love playing for his country more. Obviously, we'd reported previously that he had talks with, from what I can gather, Ancelotti and Brands, and now Benitez has given the green light to go. I think it's clever. The last thing you want is him to kick off and want to leave, because that leaves us without a player, an important player for the season. Hopefully, he doesn't get injured. That's, Copa America and the Olympics is a lot, and he won't have a rest, because then the season will start. I think Everton will give him a rest. I don't think we would chuck him into the first game he's back for. I think it'd be a couple of weeks before we see him, just because Everton would have to let him rest and recoup. Hopefully he doesn't get injured or run himself into the ground, but I do have to say this, fair play for his dedication. No break in the summer is quite tough. A lot of footballers quite like it, especially after the last 2 seasons, the COVID season. They didn't have much rest last summer, and now Richarlison's voluntarily chose not to do that again because he feels like representing his country is more important. And that's good. I can't discredit his commitment to his country, or how much he loves playing football. He clearly loves it. I do just have that niggling feeling in the back of my mind that it's so Everton that he gets injured and misses the first couple of games of the season. But, I think he'll be fine. I think Brazil will look after him because he is one of their star players. It doesn't always start either, which could go into our advantage. If he was playing every game, I'd be a little bit more worried. But Brazil's attacking outlet, they've got that much creativity and that many attacking options. He won't be playing every game, although I do hope he represents them quite a bit, because you want to see him do well. You want to see him maybe pick up an Olympic medal, other than Team GB, obviously. But yeah, guys, that's everything that we've got time for today in the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, your family, everybody. Before we leave, actually, Can you edit that bit out, the exit outro out? I forgot to mention the players coming back. 3, 2, 1. Just before we finish, the players have been back in training today at Finch Farm. We've seen James Rodriguez with a smile on his face, Tom Davis, Ben Godfrey, Andre Gomez sporting a haircut, the short hair again. They all look very happy. Rafa Benitez deep in convo with Gylfi Sigurdsson as they arrive to the training ground. David Unsworth was also caught in his car doing the thumbs up. So it's exciting times. Obviously, players are back, and now Benitez can start working with them. We reported he has an audit. Now he can see firsthand who he wants, who he doesn't want, what he needs. It's important we had a manager before this. We couldn't have gone into pre-season without a manager. It'd have been a bit too chucked together for us. But that is everything we've got time for. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, your family, and comment down below on anything I've spoken about today. Do you think it's a good idea Richarlison going to the Olympics? Do you like the look of Isco? Should we go for him? Do you think the Dumfries convos talks have just completely froze, or do you think there's still hope? And how good was it seeing the lads back in training? Don't forget to follow the Toffee Blues on Twitter. They're great as always for all your Everton news. You can follow me if you like. Don't forget, both will be down in the description down below. And most importantly, guys, stay safe. See you soon.